Perfect. All right. Nice to see everybody here. We've got a good crowd. That's wonderful. I'll just introduce everybody here. Let's see. I'm Megan Coelho. I'm the president of Advice Chaser, and we're thrilled to bring you this lunch hour educational presentation on what you need to know about Social Security. Just so you know, you guys are all the attendees are muted, but we do encourage you to use that chat box, the chat function, to ask any questions that you need. And Barbara will answer those questions, Brandon and Eric would also be happy to answer questions as well throughout the webinar. So our speakers today are Barbara Bush and Brandon Clarke and Eric Pyles. Brandon is local to Chandler, Arizona. And so is Eric Pyles. They work together at Cambridge Financial Services, and they'll be moderating this event. Brandon has spent over 20 years helping clients understand what they need to do to achieve their most important financial goals in the most efficient manner. His consulting process not only helps his clients clearly articulate what they want to achieve, but he also helps build an efficient plan, employing various financial strategies, vehicles, and services to bring the plan to life. Brandon received his Bachelor of Arts from BYU in '94 and his Chartered Financial Consultant designation from the American College. Eric Pyles is a founding partner of Cambridge Financial Services and is also the president of Cambridge Insurance Services, which is an independent property and casualty company. He specializes in helping professionals, small business owners, and families achieve their optimal wealth potential. Eric also specializes in setting up competitive employee benefit packages. He's also been actively involved in the financial industry, teaching courses on financial planning at the University of Phoenix, Western International University, and at Maricopa Community Colleges. Barbara Bush is our presenter. As a certified senior advisor, she brings a broad base of experience in planning for and meeting the needs of adults with intellectual disabilities. She also helps families navigate complex government benefits of Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security, and works to maximize these benefits for their loved ones. She has a background in estate planning and probate, and she applies extensive knowledge of both legal and medical considerations that are required in the process of long-term planning. So Eric, I will pass it over to you to give us a little more information, and then we can have Barbara start our presentation.
Thanks, Megan. Yeah, this is Eric, and Megan introduced us great. We're just here to moderate the call, and I'm going to be on there to watch you guys on chats. If you have any questions or comments, I'll kind of stop Barbara, and she's willing to answer any questions and help out as we go along. We, as Megan said, we're Cambridge Financial Services. We've been in the Valley of Arizona for over 20 years, just helping educating people on any financial things. So as we go along, if you have anything along questions or different things, either myself or turn it over to Barbara to help you out. But we're basically just here to help you out and educate you and hopefully answer questions on Social Security that you might have, and in the future have a contact of us if you need future help. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Barbara, and she'll talk to you about Social Security.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for the great introduction. And it is my pleasure to be here today speaking to everyone. And today I'm going to be talking about the common questions individuals may have regarding Social Security benefits. So let's begin. If I can figure this out. Okay. So to qualify for Social Security benefits, you must earn at least 40 credits to qualify for Social Security benefits. You earn Social Security credits when you work and pay for Social Security taxes. The number of credits does not affect the amount of benefits you receive. It only determines if you are eligible to receive the benefits. You do not get extra benefits for earning more than the minimum number of credits. Social Security calculates your benefit, and this starts, they look at how long you've worked, how much you've made each year for your 35 highest earning years. Money earned after age 60 isn't indexed, which means, sorry, going the wrong way. Okay, what am I doing wrong? Okay, back to it. Sorry about that. So if you make, a lot of us, our highest earning years are from 60 possibly to 70. So those are taken into account to calculate what your highest 35 years of earnings are, which comes into play for Social Security to figure out what your benefit will be. There's also age requirements for when you can file for benefits, and they go along with reductions. So the earliest you can file for Social Security is at age 62. However, you only get 75% of what your benefit would be if you had filed at full retirement age. So this is depending on your date of birth. Your full retirement age is anywhere from 65 to 67. And from that, you will get 100% of your benefit. Now, if you delay filing for Social Security benefits between the ages of 65 and 70, your benefit goes up 8% annually. One of the things you need to understand is you must file an application, because Social Security will not come calling. I had a potential client, I didn't take this client, had a potential client that called and was an outrage because at 75, she decided to file for Social Security. And she didn't understand why after age 70, an 8% increase didn't continue. It stops at age 70. And because yes.
Barbara, then we got a question, and maybe it's just to go back on before you go on to this one. Somebody wants to know if they've only worked 20 years, how can my average be calculated? Are you going to discuss that?
So if they've worked 20 years, and I'm going to go back, you have to make $1,410 per quarter to get 1 credit. To get 40 credits, that averages out to be 10 years of part-time work. So the 20 years that person's worked, they may have enough credits to be eligible. Now, their benefit may not be as large as it would be if they had worked 35 to 40 years. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think so. Thanks you, Barbara.
Okay. So back to this client, she also wanted me to change the rules somehow and get Social Security to pay her what she was entitled to from age 70 to 75. They don't work that way. They'll go back 6 months. And so she lost 4.5 years of benefits. So that's what I'm saying, file an application. So a lot of people say, well, when should I file for benefits? Well, there's a lot of factors that go into that. What is the work level? What is your earning capacity? Are you not able to work anymore? And the cost of waiting till 70, there's a break-even point, and it's approximately 12 years. So if your lifespan is short and you don't think you're going to live until 82, and you wait till 70, your earnings won't break even if you wait that long. So it's best, sometimes you have to take that into consideration, is your health and your lifespan. Personal finances are one of the bigger factors. Each person has to take into account, do they need this money? How much money are they going to get over the years? And here again, I'm going to point to you two, that the financial advisor can work the numbers to determine which would be the best way to file. The spousal age differences. So if your spouse is 67 and you're 62, and they decide to file for Social Security benefits, if you file at age 62 to get half of their benefit as a spousal benefit, the spouse benefit is going to be reduced by 30%. So again, talk it over before you just file for your benefits.
Barbara,
Yes.
we have one question that came up. If somebody lives in the country for, let's say, 6 years, but then leave the country and doesn't work and comes back to retire in the United States, will those 6 years still be credited for the Social Security and get Social Security?
It will be credited.
So
Yes.
it just applied those 6 years, not the full 40, but they wouldn't have the 40 quarters.
Depends, how much they made.
Yeah, that's true, because they could.
Yeah, but yeah, it might be difficult to be eligible to receive benefits with only 6 years.
So you need the 40 quarters, and then,
Mhm.
so, okay. Hopefully that answers Andy, that question. Go ahead.
Okay, so how to determine how much your benefit will be. So one of the first things I recommend is to look at your Social Security statement. So you can contact Social Security and they can mail you the statement, or you can go on to ssa.gov and open an online account. I think it's called Online Services. And in there, you can go in and you can file for Medicaid, you can file for Social Security benefits, you can print out your statement. And on that statement, it shows what you would receive at full retirement benefits, what you would receive if you're disabled. It shows, and I'm going to go into this a little bit later, is the family maximum and what your spouse would be entitled to if you died. Also, it depends on when you file. So again, you file at 62, the benefit is decreased for 25 to 30%, and this is forever. Or if you wait until age 70, every year after that full retirement age, your benefits increase by 8% annually. Also, it depends on how much you have paid into Social Security taxes. If you make $142,800 annually, anything over that, you don't pay Social Security taxes. That's where it stops. So you can earn 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 a year, and you only pay FICA taxes on $142,800. Now,
Barbara,
sure.
we just have a question. The 142,800, is that an adjusted gross income or gross income?
I'm not sure. That is a good question. I thought it was gross income, but I can check.
Okay, we'll see that. We had Kathy on the call that wanted to know that. So Kathy, we'll get back with you on that to verify.
Okay. So the maximum benefit someone can receive is if they file at age 70, the maximum they could receive is $3,895 a month. If they file at their full retirement age, they receive $3,113. Now, if they file at age 62, that amount is reduced and they would just receive the $2,324. So these are all factors to consider. So what happens if you work after you start receiving benefits? Again, there's a lot of questions. If you file for your benefits at age 62, you can only earn $18,960. If you earn more than that, Social Security reduces your benefit $1 for every $2 over the limit. And then the year you reach your full retirement age, you can earn $45,360 without a penalty. If you earn over that, Social Security reduces your benefit $1 for every $3 over the limit. So the month you reach your full retirement age, you can earn as much as you want forever. So these are all things to take into consideration if you're trying to get your benefit, but you still want to keep working. It may not be worth it. So spousal benefits. One spouse must be receiving retirement benefits. The spouses must be at least age 62. You must be married for 12 months or more, and the spouse can receive up to 50% of the retired spouse's primary insurance amount, PIA, if that spouse is filing at their full retirement age. Otherwise, again, benefits will be reduced. Now, if the spouse has worked and say files and starts taking spousal benefits at age 62, when she or he reach their full retirement age, Social Security will look at that and say, are your benefits more? Or is it more if you keep taking your spouse, half of your spouse's benefit? So again, I would direct that to a financial planner to help you decide when it's better to file for these benefits. Now, divorce. Okay, your divorced spouse, you're also entitled to 50% of your ex-spouse's benefit. Now, they have to meet this criteria that they were married for at least 10 years. You can't be married for 9 years and 6 months. It has to be a full 10 years. The ex-spouse must be receiving retirement or disability benefits. Each of you are at least age 62, and you must be single, or you can remarry after the age of 63. And you would be entitled to receive these divorced spousal benefits. These benefits don't take away from your ex-spouse or their family. And there is something that we can talk about is there's a family maximum that this does not affect it. And I'm going to, again, talk about that in a later slide.
Barbara?
Yes.
Yeah, I had about 3 or 4 people respond and want to know if they're going to have access to these slides and presentation. You
Sure.
will get these emailed out to everybody probably in a day or two with the slides and the video recording. So I just wanted to
Definitely.
let everybody know that it will come to you. Also had a couple of questions on just kind of pushing situations that should they reinvest the money, take it early, take it later, and how to calculate that out. Those are kind of time value kind of calculations. There's a lot of variables depending on what kind of investment returns you're getting, and if you're putting in a qualified account, non-qualified. I had one person said they're still working, they can put in a 401k. All those things, those are good things, and you don't have to use us, but those are good financial planning type of questions that I would go to your CFP or your financial planner, and they can make those and do those calculations for you and make those recommendations. We're glad to do it at our firm for no cost, and we can do those and run those for you if you need us to, or you can go back to your own financial planner. But that's why it's good to go back to your planner, and they will calculate and see when is the best time to take out the Social Security based on your situation and maybe where you invest those monies if you take out early. Okay. Caught up on the questions, Barbara. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So this is now called an independently entitled divorce spouse benefit. So in this scenario, you have been divorced for more than 2 years. Again, each of you must be at least age 62. Again, married for at least 10 years. And you are single or you are married after age 63. So the ex-spouse does not have to be receiving Social Security benefits. So this is different from the slide before. So if you've been divorced, again, more than 2 years, your ex-spouse does not have to be receiving benefits for you to file to receive this benefit. Survivor benefits. What happens when the spouse dies? The surviving spouse can receive 100% of the deceased spouse's benefit. Now you receive 100% if you've reached your full retirement age. The earliest you can file for these benefits at age 60, but they will be reduced. So if you're receiving spousal benefits prior to the death, that will stop and you'll begin receiving surviving spouse's benefits because this would be more. Criteria is you must have been married for at least 9 months. If there is a surviving child, they will receive 75% of that benefit until age 16 or 18 to 19 if they're still in school. If it's a disabled adult child, they'll receive this benefit for their entire life. So for planning, especially for a special needs child, it is really good to take this into consideration to receive that benefit for their life. Now, I'm going to go off a little bit, but if, again, you have that disabled adult child, they must be designated as disabled through Social Security. If not, they won't be connected to their parents' work record, and they won't be entitled to this benefit. So again, if you've got a disabled child at age 18, you would file for SSI and Medicaid. But either way, they must be determined to be disabled by Social Security. So survivor benefits for the divorced spouse. So if you meet the qualification for an ex-spouse's benefit, the surviving divorced spouse is entitled to 100% of the ex-spouse's benefit if filing at full retirement age. This benefit does not take anything away from either the surviving spouse or surviving children. I'm going to go back to the survivor benefits or spousal benefits. As I stated on that Social Security statement, it'll show what a family maximum amount is. So if we're going to pretend you're going to receive the maximum amount of $3,110. So the family maximum, and it's kind of a complex calculations to get to that, but the family maximum would be $6,854. So the primary insurance person always gets their benefit. The spouse could get half of that benefit, meaning $1,505. And if they have one child, that child could get another $1,505. Now the problem is if you had more than one child, now the calculations change. So if you had the wife and 2 children, the wife would get 80% and 60% would go to each of the children. So that's where you need to understand the family maximum. But a divorced spouse's benefits do not play into the family maximum. So one of the big questions is, especially from non-retirees, they say, will the benefits be there when I retire? Well, without any changes, the way Social Security is calculated, right now the system, Social Security Trust Fund is set to disappear by 2034. Now the trust fund is a larger amount that for many years, they've been using just the interest to pay benefits. But because when Social Security was set up, our longevity wasn't as long as it is today. Longevity might have been 60 to 70 years old. Now it's 70 to 90, maybe 100 years old. So Social Security is paying out benefits for a longer period of time. And with decreased amount of children coming into the workforce, we have less people paying into the system. So the way Social Security rules were written, they cannot operate in the red. So as of now, without any changes, beginning in 2034, Social Security can only pay out 75% of our benefits.
Barbara,
Yes.
I have a question. This is right up your alley because you're an expert in this area. Since they said I have a disabled adult child. That's the slide you showed is telling me that she will receive 100% of whatever my monthly benefit based on when I file for life. Is that correct?
No. They'll receive, if she's dead, they will receive 75%. If she's alive, they will receive 50%.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Sure. So you have potential changes that have been discussed at the, Senate and House levels. Nothing has been decided on, but here are some of the things that have been discussed. We're talking about changing the full retirement age from 67 to 70. They're also talking about all earnings would be subject to Social Security taxes. So as right now, Anything over 142,800 a year is not taxed. The other one they're talking about, which I don't see how it could work myself, is having Social Security be means tested, meaning it would be changed to a welfare program. So in Medicaid, you have to have earnings of very low amount. You can only have assets of $2,000. You can own a house and one car. So this would mean you'd be paying into the system, but wouldn't be getting that benefit if you were over the poverty level. The other one is to decrease the percentage for the delayed retirement credits. You know, we said now it's 8%. Maybe they decrease it to somewhat lower. And delay the eligibility from 62 to 64. This would all add money into the system. But until something gets changed, it's set to change in 2034. So one of the things, let's don't forget about Medicare. So you are eligible for Medicare at age 65. That doesn't mean you're eligible at 65 for Social Security benefits. Well, you could be, if that's not your full retirement age. The thing that's important is failure to enroll could result in a 10% penalty per year for each year you did not enroll in Medicare Part B or Part D, unless you're covered under your employer's insurance or your spouse's insurance. Then you enroll in Part A only. So there are some couples that, or individuals that have insurance, say through the state, and that continues on through their life. Those individuals, they don't have to enroll in Part B and D because that commercial insurance provides them with prescription drug plan and that Medicare Part B. Once you and your spouse are not receiving commercial insurance, you have 8 months to contact Social Security to enroll in Medicare Part B and D. So until you start receiving your Social Security retirement benefits, you are required to pay the Medicare premium on a quarterly basis. So I had a client that received his bill. He was 65 and received the bill from Medicare, and he said, I'm not paying this. And then the next month he gets a letter and says, your Medicare has been canceled. So he came to me and I said, well, first thing, you have to pay what is owed to Medicare. And then you can't enroll in Medicare until July of that year. And it won't go into effect until January 1 of the following year. So he was without any medical coverage for an entire year. So this is something to understand and know that you're responsible to pay. Once you start receiving Social Security benefits, they take Medicare Part B premium out before you ever get your check. So here's my information, and if you have any additional questions, I'd be happy to talk with you, and we can go over any questions that you might have now.
Barbara, I think we've answered all the questions that they've typed in. If you guys have any last minute questions, going to type it in, and you know what? It looks like a couple more came up that I did not see. Let me just look. do divorced spouses receive 100% if the former spouse is deceased?
Yes. As long as they meet that criteria.
Okay, then another one, all survivor benefits for spouses that are married at the time of death. Or survivor benefits.
So the surviving spouse was married to the deceased spouse. Am
Yeah, it
I-
looks like I'm trying to understand, are survivors benefits for spouses that are married at the time of death? Maybe just, do they become available immediately at the time of death?
Yeah, it's basically available, but you have to go in and apply for it, talk to Social Security. It was much easier before COVID, and you can actually walk into the office and talk to somebody. Now, here's my thing. Call as soon as your Social Security office opens. Most local offices open at 9 o'clock. Call at 9:01. You have a better chance of someone talking to you than if you wait till noon. They may have already taken too many calls, and basically they just hang up on you.
Mhm.
So
Okay, here's another, I know the answer, but I'll let you answer this. If somebody's married, I assume they're talking about married for 10 years, and then they got divorced and got married again 10 years, do they get each spouse benefits?
yes. So they would start with the one who earns the most. Well, it depends on their ages, the ex-spouses. So your first divorce, your ex-spouse, he's receiving benefits. And then your second ex-spouse, he starts receiving benefits, and there are more. At that point, you can switch from the first divorced spouse to the second divorced spouse's benefits.
Okay, and then last question I see here, is Social Security, the government required to tell one how much they would receive from their ex-spouse?
If you ask, yes, yes. And there would be paperwork you'd have to prove that, when you were married, when you were divorced. So there's paperwork you would have to provide to Social Security, but they definitely would tell you.
Great.
You have to have their Social Security number.
Yeah, I got a few in the Q&A box that we did the chat. What is the family maximum you mentioned? What was the maximum?
It depends on what your primary insurance amount is. So in that instance, the one I was using the maximum that someone could get at full retirement age. And that maximum is $3,110. And in that case, the family maximum would be $6,854. Now, do you really want me to go into how it's calculated? I can.
No, that's
Okay.
they can call you directly if they want that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then if I apply for Social Security in January and then my income is higher in 2020 than in previous years, would that increase? Will I get an increased income or receive only what is shown on the date of my application of Social Security?
No, it does increase, but so you filed in 2018 or 2019, and then you worked in 2020 and you made more. When at the end of the year, it will apply to the the next year. So it won't increase immediately. It takes a year to catch up.
Great. And then a question, does Social Security benefits differ based on what city or state you live in?
No.
That was an easy one. Are you entitled to ex-husband's benefits if he is remarried?
Go over that one again.
So are you entitled to your ex-husband's benefits if he then gets remarried?
Yes, all you have to do is you have to file that criteria of the 10 years and you weren't remarried, the ex-spouse wasn't remarried prior to age 63.
Okay. And then a couple more. A couple is 63 years old. A husband is disabled and currently receiving disability benefit. Wife has never worked. Can the wife still claim husband's Social Security benefit?
Yes.
Okay, that was easy. Is there a time limit to enroll in Part B and D for Medicare?
Again, I go back to that slide. Is,
And they might have answered. Oh yeah, that question just came in. So yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so there's that. And I think we answered everything. You covered AB, so I think we've answered everything on that. So Barbara, I appreciate it. I know you put up your contact information in there. So if we have any last questions, you guys can reach out to her directly. If you have anything on the financial side, calculating, should I take Social Security or when I should take Social Security based on investments and what I have and what works best for a financial plan. That's kind of Brandon's and our office's expertise. He puts together whole plans for people, and part of that plan, it tells you when might be the best time to take Social Security. And so that I think our information just came on the screen to reach out to us directly if you need those questions answered. But I appreciate you guys taking your time here on lunch. I'm going to turn it back over to Megan to wrap it up.
Thank you for that, Eric, and thanks, Barbara. I appreciate the time and you guys sharing your expertise with us. It's really wonderful. And I'm looking forward to hearing more from both of you in the future. If you guys want to get together and do a part 2, that would be fabulous. So for the attendees, you can expect an email from us as soon as we've got the recording. We'll send that out to all of you. You can feel free to share the replay with friends and family and whoever you think might benefit from this material that was shared here today. Have a great afternoon, and thanks again for your time and attention.
All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone, guys.